Hey everyone, Arthur Fantastic here, and we're back here checking out the cesspool that is Reddit and the haters of Karate Combat, who all claim to have formerly been fans of Karate Combat, but that's here nor there. In the background, we have a highlight of Machita Karate protege Bruno Souza. He'll be one of the representatives of karate against Muay Thai in KC 45 in Dubai. Once again, this is a post from Mac Tyson on Reddit. Always love to give him a shout out. He's one of the only positive people on the Reddit. And today we are actually going to go visit a video and respond to it as it goes on. Posted to the Reddit that was critiquing the current quote unquote status of karate combat versus whatever conceptual idea they have of what they think karate combat is, was, and should be. And I think it's just very indicative of what we see in the karate combat overall. And I think it's worth giving a response to because it's the same pedantic, misinformed, I dare say low IQ stance that has no wisdom, nuance, or ability to for themselves reconcile the idea of karate where it is, and that we discussed in part one of this series. This is more of a case study of how people are acting when it comes to the current karate combat. And guys, not that things are going bad for karate combat. Karate combat is doing better than it ever has. The views are still going up. More followers on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube than ever. More members on Discord, more members on the what is that? Telegram. It's just growing exponentially. And the fans who I consider like we're brothers in arms. We enjoy fucking karate fighting. They're subscribing to this artificial, arbitrary idea that results only in stagnant promotions. Okay? And movement is life in fighting. All right? Any fighter would know. So the idea that they have to stay stagnant in karate combat and appeal to some like stationary standard that's completely out of like that. What is being done is growing karate combat. There are more karatekas on display now than ever, and the damage that the Olympics did, which he will discuss here in this video, that Makenji Karate, that they will discuss in a moment in this video, is really being completely overshadowed by how cool, aesthetic, forward-thinking, innovative, and just overall exciting karate combat is. Okay, it is just muting all that Olympic stuff, and I think a lot of people are mad about that. I think there's a lot of problems with purists, which is a problem in this video. And I think that there's, like I said, there's a lot of misinformed opinions, and we're going to discuss it today on this video. Before we get into that, once again, I'm Arthur Fantastic on IG, 1K instead of IC. Holler. Links will be in the description below, as well as the Discord, which I also recommend you joining. It doesn't have the same amount of absolute toxicity that the Reddit has. Let's dive into it. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching and sticking with us on this channel, Arthur Fantastic on YouTube, and our journey to top 300 in the Karate Combat betting pool or upgaming pool rather, and our way to 100 subscribers. So, think 500 subscribers actually. So, thank you so much everywhere. And I just want to give a shout out before we begin to Makenji Kempo. I like some of their videos. The guy who does the video with him, the older man on the left, I forget the name of his um channel. He will plug it on there, and I will probably plug both their channels again. I just think they have it really wrong on this one, and I have to call them out and tell everyone why they're wrong. Is because not because I want to shame just this person. I want to point out all the erroneous assumptions, misinformation, like I said, yada yada, and I am also using it as a basis to validate and justify my calling out of the Reddit, my critiques of the Reddit. This is literally the best example I could give, and it's still pretty like respectful and like in many ways because he's British, and you know the British have their nice culture. Trying to be, are they British? I don't even know. I don't even are they Australian? Okay, I don't even know at this point. Now I'm just sound like an idiot. I'm pretty sure they're British, and I'm pretty sure they're British, and we're gonna discuss that as well a little bit in this video. Um, but I think they did a good job with a lot of their content, their training. I respect people who train. Um, we're just gonna discuss what they got wrong, and so let's get into it. I'll see you there. All right, and before we begin, I just note, because it will be of note, that this video was posted 9 days ago, which would make it April 1st or April 2nd. Today's being April 10th. And second off, it is also of note that the last Karate Combat Kickback 2, took place on May 23rd, which is like almost 3 weeks ago.
Well, hello, welcome back to Karate Ramblings. I'm Kieran.
And I'm Brian.
Oh, welcome back. And today we have something which is, I suppose you could call it a little bit controversial, but today we are talking about karate combat.
Yeah, how it's changed over time. So, do you want to talk about what it is first, in case anybody doesn't know if they've been living under a rock or something?
Absolutely. So, for those who don't know, Karate Combat is a professional fight league. It was initially created to cater towards karate fighters. When I had a look at the requirements to be able to become a Karate Combat fighter, yeah, it was like having at least like a podium place in like WKF, JKA, kickboxing, K1, or MMA.
Jokushin, anything like that,
yeah, anything in the way of quite a high recognition in terms of competitions. You know, you can't just be a fighter and turn up. You had to actually have a proven record in, I suppose, what you could consider amateur unpaid fights first.
So it's kind of it's full contact, isn't it? And it is geared towards karate fighters, really. So it's kind of kickboxing, but it isn't. You know, but it was when it first burst onto the scene, I really liked it. I liked the energy, the idea of the pit as well. It makes it different from a cage, you know, or a ring. So it had its own uniqueness to it, which I really liked. And I like the high energy, you know, because I think the fights, there's got to be action, hasn't it? So, you know, there's no kind of sizing each other up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you nailed it on the head that it's unique. It's different from having it in a boxing ring or an MMA octagon. This was, you know, it was happening in a unique pit where people could jump off the elevated walls on the side and go for their big Superman shots or flying kicks. And it was like at the start, you know, they're quite high-paced fights, you know, very skilled. to a certain extent, and it was a unique one because karate had, well, especially after the last Olympics, karate had somewhat embarrassed itself as a competition art. You know, I mean, someone got a disqualification for a
Goals
very
for losing, in my
yeah
opinion.
yeah someone got a disqualification for a very solid. It was a moshigiri, wasn't it? A roundhouse kick.
I believe the other opponent walked into it as well.
They have a couple of connection problems here at the beginning, so I'm gonna try to skip past them. So, as they were talking about, they had already acknowledged the embarrassment that is Olympic karate or karate. So they're talking about how you can knock somebody out in a striking art and you lose because you knocked them out. That being Olympic style karate, and it's an embarrassment. Um, One of the things I just want to push back on is they're talking. He was referring to like the fights of karate combat as if the fights now are less exciting than they were before. I think they're just as exciting. They're becoming more and more exciting. In fact, in my opinion, um, I don't like it's very fast paced. I don't know where he's getting that. He's not really justifying his position. He's just kind of just shitting on karate combat, which is fine by your opinion, but um, we're looking for substance and then discuss that substance. We haven't got that yet, but so we'll let them continue in their discussion.
It froze.
Yeah, so we was on about how karate got discredited in the Olympics, wasn't it? That was it. Yeah. So the guy who won gold medal for walking into a Mawashigeri, into a roundhouse kick, got. I'm still not sure. I think he played up to the rule set. I'm not even sure he was knocked out. You know, he was just sort of shaking on the floor.
Ooh.
And he got gold medal for it. You know,
Wow.
so it kind of put karate in a bad place. I felt, you know, personally.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
And that's because these guys have honor, and I appreciate that.
I did a video
and
on
common
it,
sense.
and you know the amount of like people I had were just like, yes, this is ridiculous. I had one guy who wanted to speak to me after that. It wasn't like a. It was quite a. It was his name was Joe. He wasn't exactly like combative, but we were just exchanging ideas of differences because he was quite a high level karate fighter in the US. But the amount of posts that I saw on like the karate subreddit were like people were saying, "Oh, imagine telling people you do like full contact karate." And they show a video of the Olympics. They said, "Oh, so this is what you do."
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. It was really.
Show them a video of karate combat, and I bet you they'll be pretty proud of it. I was like, I do this.
Seem to have lost Brian again.
Oh, we have a okay. Hold on, let me pause.
It's bound to happen at some point or another. But anyway,
A few moments later.
So yeah, let's just go for it. So yeah, I think before I got cut, I think it was me. I don't know. But yeah, we was talking about the Olympics and what great athletes the WKF fighters are. So I think we get back to the subject of karate combat. So, like I say, when it started off, I was really impressed with it as a format, but it seems to be taking a bit of a nosedive. So what are your thoughts? I mean, the last one was just embarrassing, wasn't it?
Oh, so let's start with let's do controversies in chronological order. So, first thing that I thought was quite dodgy. I think this was a while ago. They introduced
the last one, like Karate Kickback 2, with the heavyweight match. That was freaking amazing. It got so many. There was a lot of people watching live. The most amount of people played Up Gaming. Which is also transferring into the most going to transfer into the most number of views as we move forward. I talked all about Karate Combat Kickback 2 in my lessons and exploits and my ignorant pick, so not too much to go in here, but they said the last event. I'm like, Karate Kickback 2, what event are they talking about?
Karate cryptocurrency, like Karate dollar. I don't quite know what it's called, but basically, I think I'd look at it at one point. It costs like $1,000 or so just to buy one currency, one of their currency, and
That is wrong. Currently, you know what? Let's go to the site right now. That is such an overstatement. It has never been that much. It has never been close to that much. Let's go to the site and let me prove this. So this is CoinGecko. Just letting you know what we're watching. This is CoinGecko. You can follow any Bitcoin or cryptocurrency and such on this website. It's a great website to use. It's what I use to follow Combat Coin on the market. It currently costs 0.003283 for one karate token. Okay? Now, just to prove my point, let's look at the chart. Boom. This is 24 hours. It's going up and down. And that's the market. That's how it's going to be. Max. This is the max. Oh, man. I wish I could zoom out a little bit. Can I zoom out a little bit? No. Okay. Here's the max it's ever been. Oh, it was a little bit higher. It's a 0.006. This is the max for all of its life Karate Combat beginning in May 2023. Way, 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 way before Asim was involved with Karate Combat. So we're going back up here. What he's saying is absolutely wrong. It is not even close to right. So here is the big strike number one. He's like, oh, for one karate token, it's $1,000. No, it's not even 1 cent. It is 0.003 cents. So the tokens are actually very cheap. I remember buying a block of 9,000, 10,000 for $40. So, and I think it's lower now. So, you know what I mean? The market goes up and down with these things. That's how it goes. They usually go up, usually closer to a Karate Combat event, but that's a tangent for another day. But I need to point out, because now I'm like, did he really look it up? Because that's absolute bullshit. He must have looked up something wrong. $1,000 for a single karate dollar, whatever the heck he's trying to say, that isn't even close to true. It's magnitudes and magnitudes wrong. And he's going to build off of this misinformation on his point about cryptocurrency. I'll let it continue.
$1,000 or so just to buy one currency, one of their currency, and you could use that to choose like the next fight of who's fighting. And thought, well, cryptocurrency's not got a great reputation in the first place. It's usually used by scammers. But I thought, hang on.
Usually used by scammers. According to who? Who said that? Who said that that's what it's used for? Here in America, especially in big cities, people are using Bitcoin and other types of cryptocurrency every day. Part of their daily life. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I mean, you can even go to 7-Eleven and exchange cryptocurrency on these little ATMs that they have there. They're specific kiosks for cryptocurrency. What are you talking about? Maybe if you took the time to look at the white paper and see and read it to explain, or just listen to any of the material, you don't even have to read the entire paper to understand the structure of what this cryptocurrency does and what it means for the country. That's right. They have an inner system to generate money on a cryptocurrency, in this case, $sign karate or karate token, which is based on the H-bar coin, which is another cryptocurrency which you can also follow on the market, creating a decentralized platform where now if you wanted to have a voice in the promotion, which you can by owning some of the token, which is owning a part of the company. You know what I mean? While some people like to play it to cash in and cash out, some people hold on to their coins because they're basically owning part of that company. Now, uh, I don't understand the problem with having a system like that that is exciting and have people get more interested in fights. It doesn't make sense to me that that's a problem. Like, you don't like it, that's fine, but a part of their company model right now is having generating that. If you don't like it, then you don't like prize fighting. Why do you think money is just going to pour from the sky and get this done? They don't charge for their events. They're free on YouTube. They have tickets to the event that are very reasonably priced. They're not making a lot of money on the tickets unless you buying VIP tickets, which are also cool. The VIP section, open bar, very cool. But they're not making a lot of overhead on tickets. Okay? What is the money revenue for these events? It's the tokens, you friggin' ninny. Why are you so like? I don't know what it is over there in the UK, or if it's just him, where they're against the UK. I know, from what I understand, in London, people use cryptocurrency all the time. So this whole scammer thing, I don't know what you're talking about. And if you looked into it at all, you would know that there's a whole system based on it, and it's not just this secretive thing. There's a white paper that if you were so interested, you could have, and it's also only part of the company, and it's also no lose, up only gaming. It's an interesting model that seems to be doing well. Why is that a problem?
You know, it's a it's this is an independent league. It's not exactly got any state or government backing. So I thought maybe they're thinking that they're just doing something unique. And okay, fair enough. If people want to use their money for that, that's on them. But then I don't remember when he actually joined. But there's this bloke called who became the president. His name was Asim.
So before you generate your opinion, you might want to do some research. Asim only got into the company in December of last year for Karate Combat 43 in Las Vegas, which I happened to win the giveaway to go to and experience that live. What an experience. Expect that video soon on this channel. Nonetheless, knowing that, and knowing that the cryptocurrency karate token was in place in 2023 in May, almost an entire year before Asim was president of the company, we have to have some type of maybe you are misinformed. So far, he's been misinformed, right?
And he's a character. He is a character, because he has joined and he is a okay, I've got his name up now. Asim Zaidi. Now he's a MMA gym owner.
Just really quick, what promoter isn't a character? Oscar De La Hoya? Don King? Oh, what's that? What's that one guy that we used to manage? That used to manage Pacquiao. Arum? Bob Arum? Is Bob Arum not a character? What fight promoter isn't a character? Is Dana White not a character? Is Scott Coker not a character? You see, you have to have a flair for promoting things to be a promoter. And he's the president of a promotion for prize fighting. They're being paid to fight, and the winner gets paid more. Ergo, prize fighting. There's betting involved, of course, because that's what prize fighting is, and it has been since the beginning of time, since both the creation of wagers, so some type of anything that you can wager, and fights People have wagered on shit. I just don't get. That's a part of fight culture. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand how we've even got here. Do you think Matobu wasn't a character? You don't think that Fukanoshi wasn't a character? Just by reading their writings and reading their life stories, they're characters. You don't think Gracie, Haleo Gracie, is a character? Are we appealing to that that this type of character and involved with fighting and promotion or even karate promotion aren't characters? I mean, Fukanoshi was a poet and writer, dude. Like, come on, this guy's you gotta. That's fine. You could be a poet. You could be a writer. You could be a gardener. There's all eudaimonia, fulfillment, satisfaction with life, but it's not going. You can't just be like, oh, he was a poet, but as plain Jane as possible. You don't get poetry from like plain never taking risks. You think that Fukanoshi got to where he was by not taking risks? It's just I don't I we're gonna go forward, but I just want to point out that it seems like a really specious, another specious like attack for no reason.
Goat shed that creates MMA style athletes and jiu-jitsu fighters and things like that. He joined in and he's got this very unique energy around him. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but he's very enthusiastic, but in a way that seems very strange and a little bit suspect in the realm of karate because
Honestly, many times when I'm reading people's comments, especially on the Reddit, on whatever fucking post, a lot of people want to put it on the shoulders of Asim. Like he's the sole owner of Karate Combat. And I understand, the weight goes on the shoulders of the president, but there hasn't been any failures. I will wait to hear what they say is a failure on the part of Karate Combat. All their recent events have been great since December, in my opinion, and continuing on in their tradition, like I thought that they have. At Karatekas, same theme, same crazy backgrounds and sets and locations. Nothing, what I mean, that maybe Asim is taking it to another even level of, wow, these are really cool places where they have it, because they had it before. Asim, they had it in the Dominican Republic, or was it Mexico City, where they had it in like those ruins and stuff, or that outdoor amphitheater. I mean, this is, let's not kid ourselves on what Karate Combat was already doing um before President Asim.
that's on a lot of weird posts and how to put it. He's the definition of what people like to call MMA dude bro. So the typical, rise and grind, gotta keep working, hard work.
Okay, you're not gonna like Masa Oyama, head of the Kyokushin style. You're not gonna like Jigoro Kano. You're not gonna like Matobu. You're not gonna like hard men that trained on wood floors, no mats, no gloves, which I seen you guys do. That's fine. I train with gloves too. It's just as much against me. These men were harder than us, but like what's wrong with being a dude, bro? Like, because he encourages competition and people settling out in a fighting gym with their fists and feet and body. I mean, whether we're watching kung fu movies from back in the day, listening to Sifu teacher, or like a wrestler teacher, and they'll talk about like their crazy exploits and how that there was especially the ones that are more ferocious, there was a fostering of competition and settling disputes, and that's not just about the ferocious. People, men know how men settle things, especially in a place like this, and it ends with respect. That's what a part of the code. I feel like we've missed something here in modern karate, where it's like this muted style that insists on the softness of modern Western culture, um and projects it on the honor, duty bound, respect culture of the East, and replacing hard boundaries with soft ideas of niceness, which are vague and nebulous, and um, uh, conflating niceness with kindness, and just creating overall softness, which then, like this gentleman here, hates the hard. Yeah, like you what you call dude bro, hustling and working hard and having a hard gym and promoting it, and being well known for that is literally his job, to create good fighters and create something that's going to get the attention of viewers. I success in that sphere is difficult, and that he's doing it. I don't understand why you would be mad with his tactics when the results speak for themselves. Dude, bro, I feel like that's just a polemic term to put down Asim because you don't like him or his style. You might not like some of the masters before us. Some people are eccentric, some people are that way. We're going to now, this is becoming like a very subjective argument. I don't know. Let's listen.
Non-stop getting that money, getting stronger, dominating other people, that kind of thing.
I don't know if he's about dominating other people unless we're talking about the gym and like fighting. But even if it was, what's wrong with this? Do you have also a problem with Cobra Kai? Like, do you have a problem with hard styles of like? Do you like not like Krav Maga? Like, these are things. Do you not like hard styles of wrestling? I don't know. Um, I've met a lot of different teachers in my life with all different styles and personality traits and ways of teaching and ways of correcting. And I think this is a really, really arbitrary self like, you know, subjective discussion of his taste of what he doesn't like.
very unique culture change in attitude than what combat was before, because karate combat before was something very, you know, very grounded and very, in my opinion, quite in tune with like karate values, hard work and respect. And
Did he just say that work hard is something that Esteem worked, and that karate combat used to do that, and but is changing, and that the karate value of working hard is something that is has I don't understand. You just said that, made fun of Asim for him talking about working hard, and now you're talking about the karate underlying value of hard work. Okay, all right, seems kind of circular, but okay.
humility.
Yeah.
Yeah, big names that they had on there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they had people that helped to have promote and commentate on fights. You've got Bas Rutten, George St. Pierre, Leota Machida, um, what's his name?
There's Wonder Boy on there, is that what did he do?
Yep, Wonder Boy Thompson. I can't think of anyone else that they might have had help promote it, but yeah, they've had all sorts
Big
of
names,
other.
isn't it?
Yeah, they've had all sorts of other like what's his name? Other cosplayers on there just to do like joke skits. For those of you at home who liked Baki Hanma, which is a Japanese like manga series. They had one bloke on there called Logan Chitwood, I think his name was, to cosplay these characters and just drum up hype and entertainment, which is fine.
Yeah, I met that guy. He was super, super nice, super, super chill. Can't believe I got to meet that guy. Absolutely down to earth. Hanging out with Michael Hearn, friggin' Adonis over there. Crazy, crazy times in Vegas.
But when you've got all of these really big names on there, you've got to deliver. Like the hype keeps building, if that makes sense. They're constantly raising the bar of what level of entertainment they're going to. And
That's what promoting fights looks like. Yes.
oh boy, did the last couple of events really not deliver. Not deliver in the slightest.
I mean, going back to what you were saying about where it's lost its way a little bit, I think the fights used to.
I'm still just waiting to hear what he means by that. What does he mean by they weren't good? Like the actual fights? Like I can't think of a fight that wasn't good at the recent events. I'm waiting to hear what he's talking about.
Like you mentioned, there was that respect between the fighters, and there was the etiquette. So there was a bit more old school karate values to the fighters. But yeah, like now you say that they're going. And I'm not saying MMA fighters don't respect each other because they do, but you get that pre-fight hype. You get that pre-fight hype. You know, where they have to sell the fight basically. You know what I mean? Because it goes out on pay-per-view or whatever else. So there's all the trash talking, and there was never that in karate combat.
I beg to differ. We're going to go to a video of Bas Rutten talking about such things in a moment because I'm going to let him talk about this even more and more because maybe they're not watching the weigh-ins, maybe they're not watching the pre-fight conferences, maybe they're not watching the social media and actually keeping up with it, but shit talking has always been a part of it. There's a respect after the fight, but Matobu went to Fukanoshi's fucking gym and beat the shit out of him. Bad, real bad. It is what it is. It's a fight culture, okay? And we could talk about why that happened. I've discussed that in part 1 of this series as I've discussed that particular story in short, as an aside. But here I just want to reference it again because that is karate history. Now we go to karate combat history momentarily with the short video from Karate Combat where they're talking about, the shit talking's fine, but at the end we bow, okay? But let them talk more about it.
Oh no,
there seems to be. Yes, there seems to be the trash talking now, and it's lost those karate values. I feel, and that's
absolutely.
That's bad,
They've added in so much crap and trash talking culture. I for one hate.
Has no one ever been? Have these guys not been to the WKF or the WAKO or any of the fighting kickboxing tournaments? Shit talking is a part of it. They're talking shit in the ring. You get under the person's skin. That's a part of it. And then when you're a fight promotion, you're trying to sell a fight. You're not going to get paid if no one's watching. You need to sell a fight. There was always shit talking. There's always been shit talking between karateka going all over from the beginning of the karateka to where we are now. That's a part of competition. All right. We can't vilify shit talking. Even Ralph Macchio and Miyagi in The Karate Kid, this iconic idea of what karate is like. Even they talk shit, bro. Even Miyagi had to beat the shit out of that one dude, and then he honked him on the nose. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You talk the shit. You let your balls drag sometimes. It's not about being effeminate. Okay, this isn't a movie for Hollywood. Okay, what principles are we appealing to? What is your understanding of respect? Is it being nice and never saying anything mean and combative or conflicting to what another person may think or feel? Okay, that's how you get walked on. You know what I mean? No, I'm going to win. You're not ready for me. I'm going to win. This is that shit talk or is that, is that bad? Like, I don't know.
Trash talk. I know it sells fights. I mean, Muhammad Ali was known as like one of the best trash talkers, and everyone talks about him as a great and respectful athlete. But he talks a lot of shit to drum up hype. I mean, let's be real. He did do that, but
welcome to the world of prize fighting.
Seeing these, the standoffs where they get each person standing off next to each other, they got their hands up, they're facing each other, and next thing you know, someone spits at the other person. I remember that someone had their belt around their neck, and the other person just went and yanked the belt down and hurt the other person's neck. Another time, someone tried to kick someone in the bollocks, and then what they'll do is they post a video of that, and then they'll cut to the fight where the other person knocks the other person out or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, you disrespect this person, you're going to get destroyed. But it's also like President Asim, he puts himself in between the two fighters, like, no, you boys don't fight until I tell you to fight. I mean, it seems very controlling, and it seems very, like I said, it's part of that.
What are you talking about? That's how every fight goes. Whether it's the WKAK1, the promoter does the ceremonial weigh-ins. They do the ceremonial face-off. What the fighters do is not the fault of Karate Combat. They're on a stage. They want to be noticed. They know that certain things aren't good. And if Karate Combat wants to put down people for doing disrespectful things, isn't that literally enforcing the culture that you're talking about? I mean, and reinforcing it? Like, what are you... it's just looking at everything in a negative way. I'm not really sure what he's on about.
Hype fight culture. It feels draining on the people that actually know.
I'm gonna let him say it again.
Like I said, it's part of that hype fight culture. It feels draining on the people that actually know how to fight, and B, can respect the actual technique, as opposed to people who just want to see a bloodbath between two wild animals.
Well, I think that what you're talking about is a melodramatic over-exaggeration of what's happening. It has not become a bloodbath. There's always been blood. People have always fought in Karate Combat. What you're insisting on, using once again another polemical, like, rhetoric attack on Karate Combat by saying it's hype fight culture, if you have hyped a fight and promoted it as a promoter and it has become hype, that is a fucking success. What are you judging him on? If know how to fight and can appreciate the techniques. Can you appreciate that it's a business? You keep saying, yeah, I understand it's a business, but do you understand it's a business? Do you understand that he's selling fights? Do you really? You keep like trying to concede that point, but then you immediately act the opposite. You're like, oh, I don't understand this, but blah blah. And it's like, well, you kind of really destroy your previous concession. It's like a fake concession. It's just it's just a disarming rhetorical device. Stop doing that. It's so fucking manipulative. You want to talk about controlling? Asim getting in between the fighters and being there at the ceremonial face-off is a part of every fight sports, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, etc. When we get to the upper levels of competitions, wrestling a little bit less because it's usually scholastic and it's a team thing and there's not really a promoter involved. But you get the idea when you go to, like, NWO, who's number one? WNO, who's number one on, like, Flow Wrestling. You're gonna see the face-offs, the ceremonial weigh-ins, the promoter there. That's how it goes. Whether it's a big promotion, a small promotion, that's a part of promoting a fight. What are you talking about? What would you want? What do you want then? Do you want people to just show up at a mat and fight? No hype, no face-off? Like that, some people do some things. Oh, no one's gonna be able to chew gum now. I mean, how the hell are you gonna put that on a scene? That's been happening since before Asim, and that people break the rules or do something bad isn't on him. It's just, once again, like, discussing this entire thing misinformed and in bad faith.
Yeah. So in that respect, I definitely, it's lost its way for me in that respect.
It's lost its way.
But
okay,
then we went on to the fights.
Okay, so before we go any further, we're gonna go and check out that video with Bas Rutten talking about this topic.
Difference between point karate and karate combat, which is full contact karate. In the beginning here at karate combat, you saw literally guys, they were fighting and they threw a punch, and they stopped. And then that guy just started coming with combination. They realized, oh, crap, I got to make sure that I'm going to make combinations. So these guys just saw them.
And I just wanted to play this one part of the video just to discuss something in the future when we're discussing karate combat and having karate athletes in karate combat. If the karate combat athletes are fighting like the prior stated by the former stated by Bas here, rather than the latter who throw combinations, maybe that one might understand why there is a less high bar among some of the karateka in the sports world. I'm looking forward to the Muay Thai versus karateka event in Dubai at KC 45 in Dubai on 420. Here we go. Bas GSP, talk about karate.
So, George, how did you get involved in karate?
Well, I started karate as a self-defense. Then self-defense became a passion. Passion became the way I put food on the table. How was it for yourself?
This is the first sport I started training in karate. Then I started meeting all these great karate guys, and you realize that everything you did, what I did in my past, even in mixed martial arts and in Thai boxing, everything comes back from karate. Like my punch, I don't have a punch that I turn. I don't like that. It's telegraphing. If you tell people to twist your head, they start doing it here. So once I see an elbow move, I'm already out of the way. But if you punch like this, like they do in karate, well, everybody's asking me, why did you learn that punch? How did you come up with that? I go, no, that was karate.
That's right. Karate is extremely efficient for fighting, but also for everything you do in life. Not only because of a self-defense, because of the mentality.
Very true.
Discipline, perseverance, and hard work. That's what you get in karate.
And the respect. That's what I like as well. We had a show in Greece, and this one guy was they happened to weigh in. He was in his face, and he was saying the most horrible things. And as soon as they stepped back, both had a smirk on their face. They bowed at each other, and they went off. You see, now that's what I sometimes miss in mixed martial arts, or in boxing, or in Thai boxing. You miss the respect.
That's right. You know, and we all know that karate practitioners have some kind of brotherhood in between each other.
Oh yeah, everywhere you go.
That's right.
Okay, guys. This video is from a while back. Let me see the date on this. I don't know if I can show you guys at the same time. How do I do that? No. Maybe is that the comments? Let's see. I don't know if I can show you the description here. Well, that video was from Karate Combat in September of 2021. So almost 3 years ago. He's talking about a event before that where there was quote unquote shit talking, where he was saying the worst things imaginable according to the words of Bas Rutten himself. And he's laughing while he says that because this is acceptable. They backed up and they bowed. That is the respect, not shit talking. Of course you're going to shit talk. What world are we living in where alpha males and men who are testing their wills against one another might not have a little bit of ego? I don't understand.
So in that respect, I definitely, it's lost its way for me in that respect. But and then we went on to the fights. So we were talking about the actual. I'm not even sure what's going on the last Karate Combat. I did, as I was watching it, it was like watching two old men fighting down at the Dog and Duck. It was really, really terrible fights, like real bad, not even skilled fighters. They were just, I don't know, where do they get these guys from?
What are we talking about?
Well,
was this something to do with the cryptocurrency, was it? Or?
Yes, absolutely. I forget his name, the guy's fighter name exactly, but his name on like the scorecard was NFT Bro or something like that.
All right, so we're talking about the IFC, which was a second event held directly after KC 44 in Mexico City. After the Karate Combat card was immediately followed by the IFC card, which was the first event, where they had a creator clash type event, which had amateurs. Some of the fighters did have some prior experience. though all the fights were pretty quick, except the last fight, which I'll get to in a moment, and discussed at length in my breakdown of KC44 lessons and exploits and ignorant picks available on this channel that you can check it out. Just go check it out. You will understand what I'm about to say more thoroughly, which I am about to give a short reminder of. Those fighters may have looked way more amateurish. Absolutely. This was following a full card in Mexico City with a full pre-card and main card, and as well as a pit series number of matches with Craig Jones, one of the top grapplers in the world, Phil Rowe, who trains here in Orlando, Meow, who is a legend here, also training here in Florida, I believe, with AJ Agazarm and his twin brother, the Meow brothers, who won medals in ADCC as well as the IBJJF Worlds, if I'm not mistaken, at the lower weights. And the 15th ranked bantamweight in the UFC. So these are serious names. These are serious names that they're putting on the card in the pit series, as well as Goyito in the main card. Chelmaya, who's a great karateka. The fights were great. I don't know what you're talking. If you only caught the last like hour of just the cryptocurrency fights, I guess you could say that it was a bad event. But then that means you have no fucking awareness of what the hell's going on. And if you actually looked on the channel, you'd see that maybe there was a break in the middle of the fights around the Fabiola fight. When was it Fabiola or no, it wasn't the Fabiola fight. It was the women's title fight. I forget. And I think they switched over to a second stream for whatever reason. Anywho, that aside, I think that if you're going to judge KC or Karate Combat on its fights, then you would judge it on its actual fights, not arbitrarily pick, and obviously in bad faith and disingenuously picking only the cryptocurrency fights. Once again, this is appealing to the same idea and crowd as the Creator Clash. They, despite it being directly after the Karate Combat and being another hour, there were still as many many viewers watching that final fight as there was at any point during the main card and prelims. So that's pretty awesome. Okay. And I think they also like really not giving respect to the people who stood in the pit, actually fought, were really throwing those last two. It was the main headliners because they had the most pull. Once again, this is a promoting fights, and they actually won over my heart. They really have the karate spirit. The karate spirit is really they went all to the end, and I think there was even a third max round, sudden death round in Mexico City at high elevation. They haven't had serious fighting competition before. They really poured their heart out, and instead of like seeing that for what it is, they're just kind of shitting on it and not also acknowledging that the rest of the card also exists.
For those who don't know, NFTs are a form of cryptocurrency most associated with scams.
Most associated with scams. Okay, so that's what that guy's name is. What does that have to do with people call themselves the dog also? And like, axe murderer or whatever, like Wanderlei Silva, you know what I'm saying? The dragon, ooh. Like what does their name have to I don't know NFTs are scams, by the way. You know what I mean? This is just something that he's insisting on. Okay, I don't buy NFTs. I wouldn't tell anybody to buy NFTs, but some people seem to be able to trade them with some type of value. I've seen it. There's people doing it all the time. Did some people buy shitty NFTs that they shouldn't have bought? Yeah, I think so. And would I buy an NFT? No, but once again, we're just trying to stack the deck in like some type of rhetoric. Like, why does this have to be a rhetoric video that's shitting on them instead of just pointing out the things that are legitimately needs to change. They're speciously acting. I don't even. I keep using specious. They're they're in disingenuously presenting the last card in KC 44, not counting the kickback, because the kickback 2 also happened before this video, which they don't even seem to have watched. We'll let them continue, but it's just in bad faith, guys.
So they've got this. Oh my god! I've got to just talk about not this last event, the event before that. It was this big Miami or Los Angeles, one of the two. I can never tell them apart.
I want to thank Karate Combat for sending me to that one as well here in Florida, where I am, my state, king of the beach, Florida, holler on Instagram. That was an amazing experience. And as a Floridian, I can definitely explain to you what's going on and what's happening in the Floridian America better than what these guys can. So I'll let them show their side of the story. Then I'll say my side of the story.
Party at Asim's mother's house. So his mother, I'm assuming the lady that they showed is his actual mother. I'm not.
Okay, so the moon base was okay. Cyberpunk 2079, that's all right. Asim's mother's house, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but you know that they're trying to play on the whole 80s vibe, right? That's an 80s movie, bro, and they're living it out. It was an amazing event. I'll let them continue, but they've had, this is where I said that Asim's mom's house, that's where I cut the line. Okay, I'm sorry that you don't get American culture, or you've never been to a house party at a friend's mother's house or some shit like that. But I'll let this continue.
I'm gonna say they got an imposter, but she's got this big mansion in America, and
it's his real mom. And if you want to check out, they have a whole documentary on Karate Combat about the making of and it going down and behind the scenes and what it took to get Karate Combat Kickback 1 all together. Pretty awesome.
They did this really stupid skit where he comes up to his mum, almost like a kid asking, "Can I invite my friends over?" Just like, "Mum, can I have this big karate fight in the back garden? You know, we're gonna have all of these high-level strikers. It's gonna be punching and kicking and knees." And his mum's like, "No, you're a grown man." And then then Asim says to his mum, "Rick Ross is gonna be there," and she's like, "Rick Ross, keep the noise down." Just like, yeah, they can come as long as Rick Ross is there. It's what the hell?
I'm glad I didn't see that. Then I must have missed that one.
How can you take some type of entertainment and see the silliness of it and then switch back to taking it so seriously that you're upset to say what the hell? Even the guy on the left is amused. Well, just take it. It's promoting. Like, what are you upset about it for? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, thank God you didn't. It's on the YouTube channel. I think they might have taken it down, but
I don't know what's this guy's problem with, like, misrepresenting shit and, like, making, like, really false claims, like the price of a token. Now we're talking about, I think they deleted it. No, it's definitely available. Not only on their YouTube, but their Facebook and their Instagram and their TikTok. It is still up there and it has millions of views. Why are you saying that? They made an entire documentary to follow up on it. They doubled down. They did a whole thing with it. I don't understand this. This whole criticism seems very, very emotional and non sequitur. Like, it's nonsense. Like, you're all right with green aliens, and you're all right with like dancers, and you're all right with all the others, because they've been doing these crazy sets for like the entirety of Karate Combat. I don't even understand. You're making something wildly different from what we are all been watching develop.
that entire event was just so weird because they're just getting more and more celebrities and cryptocurrency traders in the crowd. It's so weird. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to get celebrities at your event to be more visible to the public. What see this is what I mean by you might know how to fight, but you don't know how to fight promote. You don't know how to run a business. If you don't understand why you would have celebrities there, most of which are Volkanovski when he's champion, Pahea, who's champion right now, Israel Adesanya, Mike, Mike Perry, current BFKC champion. Um, Frank Mir, former UFC heavyweight champion. And so that they, uh, Nick Diaz, that there's fighters there. Friggin' who else was there? Oliveira was there in Mexico City, cheering on the very last fight with these fights that they're shitting on. He was there cheering on Ben Armstrong in his fight. Okay, so you guys, I don't know what world you're in, but in a world where you're trying to promote fights and get something more visible, you get somebody who have large audiences to your event and generate buzz so that people watch it. Okay? The entire event's free on YouTube. What do you think they need to do to make money? It can't be buys of their pay-per-view.
Yeah, so yeah, I think going to I mean the skill level that was on display at, with these non fighters really, it was embarrassing. It was just a brawl, wasn't it? So there was no actual techniques. I mean, I'm knocking on a bit myself now. I'm 51. I think they look like they was my age, or maybe I'm being a bit uncomfortable.
There were some people who were older.
When you're watching this, you want to see high level athletes. You want to see the best of the best. The best.
I just find it funny that they're still insisting on they expect high level. It was the IFC card, Influencer Fight Club. There was no expectation of there being high level athletes there. In the main card and in the prelims were all good fights. If we're talking about KC44, which is where the first IFC was. So what he's talking about is a very, very closed view of what actually happened. So I'm just gonna let them go on though.
Karate world has to offer, and that's definitely not what was on display then. And if you want to bring karate back to being a bit more respectful, respected by the general public, it's going the wrong way again now, isn't it? So I thought initially it was going to be a good thing, but yeah, so it definitely took a U-turn. So.
Absolutely. So I've got to rage about this a little bit more because
go ahead, rage. Oh my god.
Not only are the people that they're getting in, I mean, when they get them in, they put the gi trousers on, they put a belt on. They got people wearing black belts. That the belt is like one side of it is like.
They put white belts on the IFC fighters. By the way, you put white belts on them. They're not black belts. They acknowledge that. If you're paying attention as well.
I don't know, a couple of centimeters tall, and the other side is just really long. So they get people who can't even tie their belts on, throwing wild punches, and you get weird celebrities in the crowd. Like there's a hip hop duo called the Island Boys. Basically, they're being covered in tattoos, and they look. I'm sorry to shame them a little bit, but they look constantly either high or malnourished or something like that.
Yeah, no one likes the Island Boys. I don't know how they got to that event, whether that's having to do with some talent agency that they might have done a deal with, or having to do with YouTube or whatever, or if it's just inviting them because that's the type of thing that they bought tickets to it and that's the type of event they like, or whatever the case may be. The viewer doesn't reflect the promotion. He was just a viewer in the audience. He wasn't hired. No one paid those guys to be there. And yeah, those guys are weird.
They're kicking. I actually saw them trying to actually kick off a fight in the crowd.
Yeah, those guys are weird. Those guys are weird. I was in the back by the cigar tent at one point. And they came back there and they're like shadow boxing and like God, like throwing like using their hands as pads. It was kind of embarrassing. Excuse me. But yeah, whatever. You know, those guys are those guys. What are you gonna do? You mad at them? You're talking about it. That's funny.
And then they had a jiu-jitsu event. They're calling it Jits in the Pits. Now I've got no problem with
Jits in the
jiu-jitsu
pits. That's
fighting.
awesome. It's this pit submission series, but Jits in the pit. I'm gonna have to take that, and that's gonna have to be the name of something. Thanks, guys.
Feels strange when they're trying to make this this thing came out. Karate Combat came out as a purely karate-based sport, and now they're like, but here's the jiu-jitsu athletes that Asim has for his other MMA gym that he's bringing out to have on these fights. It feels like
Craig Jones does not train with Asim. Phil Rowe does not train with Asim. The Meows do not train with Asim. The bantamweight, top 15 bantamweight, Ricky, I think it was Ricky Simone, does not train with Asim. Okay? Uh, Ethan Krellenstein, Ethan does not train with Asim. Gregor Gracie, Cavalcante do not train with Asim. I'm trying to think of all the this what he's saying is wrong, 100%. He can't like maybe there might have been one. I don't know. Didn't see any of them training out of Goat Shed going against any of those submission grappling um uh opponents. That being said, oh wait, you know, in fact, the last one there was, um, what was her name? Jillian Robertson, who's in the top 15 of the UFC um bantamweight or flyweight division, women's flyweight, who also went against another top 15 ranked woman in Montana De La Rosa. Jillian is one she has the highest record in that weight division of submission finishes, and they're all in a row. And she's a beast, so maybe that would might explain why she was competing. I believe Wagner Roca was at one. I forget who else competed, but they're all big names. They're not competing for a seam or training underneath him or something like that. These are big names, and if you knew anything about grappling, you know that. Now, addressing the first point that you made, that this was beginning at Karate Combat, and now look at the jiu-jitsu. Karate had takedowns and joint locks in addition to strikes in the beginning system, so that there might be I thought that saw this as a harkening back to the original traditional style that included grappling. I don't see it as this departure from what Karate Combat is doing. Karate Combat is growing and creating new waves of how to do a um mixed martial arts event, right? Of mixed karate and other types of martial arts, because karate in itself is a mixed martial arts. Martial arts are mixed martial arts. It's just like when you make a karate guy go versus a taekwondo guy versus a goju ryu guy or something. That's a mix. That's a mixing of martial arts. And if they also do takedowns and joint locks in their system, which both do, that makes them the progenitors of what we have today is mixed martial arts. But we can't even discuss these type of things. But you can go back to my first video and see the discussion and evolution and transitory process of karate as where it stands in history, and use that as a gauge to judge where it can go or be now. Once again, he's made another claim that isn't true. Names like Craig Jones are the top tier competitors in the grappling world and is a promotion diamond move. The same thing with Gregor Gracie, Ethan Krellinston, and they're doing a great job, guys. I don't know what the problem is other than you don't like it. I see you guys do grappling parts or drills or something in your karate. So I don't understand why that's a problem that they're involving more uh, ground stuff. All right. They separate. You go to the ground, you can only strike, and you only got a couple of seconds depending on how the action goes. And the grappling kind of picks up and shows another path of how things would go when you're on the ground. These are great for people who study martial arts, and I think there's a way to even make the grappling more exciting, which is something that I'll be discussing in a future video, as well as making a post in the .gov. If you want to be involved, that everyone that is enjoying Karate Combat, you can sign up there, as well as buy Karate Token to have more of a sway when the vote happens. As we discuss this further, if you want to be involved and you want to do something about it, then you can have a say, or you can just complain about it and not about things that are you completely misinformed about and misinforming other people.
He's almost hijacked this event so he can slowly turn it into more promotion for his fighters as opposed to actual, karate athletes.
He has put forth karate athletes that he does manage there that are karatekas, most certainly. And if you go through the names that actually fight for him, they actually do karate for the most part. The ones that don't, like I think there was a San Shao guy and like a boxing guy that may have trained at his gym. I'm not sure if the San Shao guy trained at his gym. That's back to the discussion about what karate is. But it's not the majority of the fighters. He may have one or two. That's his prerogative as promoter to promote his own fighters, which is also his job. So he simultaneously can do both of his jobs still correctly. The quality of fights have not gone down. They're still exciting. Karatekas are still getting great knockouts. If they're fighting people that aren't karatekas and they beat them, does that not still look good for karate? And karatekas are getting a better name overall. I think this is a great still going forward. I think that we are really putting forth some misinformation here again.
Yeah. Do you know what? That sounds really cool, though. Jits in the bits.
It does.
It does.
Because it is.
It does. And like I said, I've got a lot of respect for jiu-jitsu athletes, but it just feels so out of place.
Why does it feel out of place? Why? You can shake your head and look at this guy and try to stare him down to make him agree with you, but why is it out of place? Is jiu-jitsu not is just the plain jiu-jitsu or jujutsu not the ancestor of modern day karate, and has karate not have many styles in different ways, and do not some of them include large portions of grappling and throws? I don't know why it's out of place. I think that it's a great arena for grappling, not only because of the same benefits that you get from being able to watch a karate fight in the pit, but also the walls, the angled walls, takedowns, not falling off a platform where we see a lot of other grappling matches are happening, and on mats you can't really see unless you get bleachers or something like that, you know what I mean? And not a lot of places where you're holding them have bleachers. So the pit is such a perfect thing. It's just this great, it's this perfect storm for filming and viewing in person. And I don't understand why it's out of place other than, well, I don't like it.
So out of place.
Do you know, I mean, I was going to say, we've talked about it before, the One Championships and how that is a really good platform for combat sport. It almost feels like that needs to step in, perhaps. It's not going to happen.
Why does it have to step in? Why can't Karate Combat do what they're doing? Craig Jones, once again, is like top 5 grapplers in the world right now, according to the rankings. Gordon Ryan being number 1, depending on where you put the other ones, you put the other ones. But Craig Jones has been beating names, taking legs and necks, and he hasn't been losing. Meows, these are it's just top tier competition, and they're getting just as many views as some of these 1 cards. What is What they have, their whole channel as a whole has more views and subscribers than the one channel. So what are you talking about that they have to step in, that like Karate Combat is getting too big for their britches? What are you talking about? Watching a grappling match in a pit is significantly better, and watching a fight in a pit is significantly better than watching it in a cage or a ring. It is a far better viewing experience, both live and on in excuse me, in playback or on video. What are we appealing to? All right, so I'm going to end this part one, right here. I think I've set a groundwork for everything I've been pretty much arguing and trying to point a lot of misconceptions, misinformations, the spreading of misinformation. I don't know. I don't want to say that they're liars. Maybe but there seems like some bold lies. Oh, it's $1,000 for, and it's all his fighters. All the grapplers are his fighters, and all this other stuff. They've been, it's, and they misrepresent the fights in KC44, which wasn't the last match. The last one was KC Kickback 2, which was in Mexico, Cancun. So anyway, love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this and hearing my rant, I hope that y'all are taking some notes in your development of your rhetoric ability, or at least the ability to identify other people's use of rhetorical devices and polemics to just try to make you feel a certain way with no evidence, and in fact, putting forth fake information. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Stay up, stay vigilant, stay locked and loaded. Shalom, shalom. Peace in, y'all.